Protests continued in St. Louis today after a judge acquitted a white former police officer in the 2011 shooting death of a black man named Anthony Smith. Last night, protests turned violent and 10 law enforcement members were hurt. One suffered a broken jaw, another had a dislocated shoulder. Today, protesters gathered to march inside a St. Louis mall. The governor of Missouri said only peaceful protests are acceptable.
Violence and vandalism is not protest, it is a crime. And that's why you saw when people were throwing bricks and bottles, they were thrown in jail. That's what happened last night. People who were out there peacefully protesting were protected. But when we had people who decided they were going to vandalize law enforcement vehicles, they were arrested.
Yesterday's protests caused the cancellation and closing of many schools and businesses. U2 also announced they would not perform in St. Louis tonight due to security concerns. The band, you might remember, was just here in the Twin Cities last weekend. Meanwhile, several rallies were held today to protest the removal of Confederate monuments across the country. This includes in Richmond, Virginia, where protesters gathered near the Robert E. Lee Monument this afternoon. The gathering also attracted those demonstrating to keep the statue, and the two sides rallied against one another. Those in favor of keeping the statue say the monument is a symbol of history. Those against it say it is a hateful symbol of past wrongs. And in Washington, D.C., competing protests also took place today. The Washington Mall held what organizers called the mother of all rallies in support of President Donald Trump. But this wasn't the only group demonstrating. There were also rallies against President Trump and thousands of supporters of the rap group called Insane Clown Posse. They held a rally in protest of the FBI's recent decision to classify the group as a gang. These supporters are known as Juggalos.